Alright, this is how it looks. Ironman Mark 5 together with the Ironman Mark 6 and also Mark 3, all by Zdtoys, standing together very nicely and absolutely amazing looking collection. So if you intend to get the Zdtoys, now is the time, because Zdtoys is going to release the Mark 7 very soon, and finally with the Mark 1 hopefully. And Zdtoys does actually tease us with the Mark 42. So I believe the Mark 42 or the Mark 43 will eventually be released. Very nice. Alright, here is a look at the box. This is the Ironman Mark 5 from Zdtoys. As usual, it does have a very nice box. Very impressive. I have taken out the toy already, so this is the side of the box, and also the back of the box. Of course, nowadays Zdtoys does have the license from Disney, the authorized license for the Ironman Mark 5. Very impressive. Look at that. So as you can see here, these are all the accessories included with this Ironman Mark 5. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of hands, including the fisted hands on the figure itself. Some of these blast effects, very nice. And also the base, which I do not use. And this time around, this Mark 5 does comes with this nice little briefcase, very nice, very nicely painted. Unfortunately, this briefcase does not open, similarly with the 1/6 scale, but it does looks very nice. If you do have a Tony Stark figure standing next to this briefcase, or maybe a custom racing suit, 1/12 scale or 1/10 scale figure, that will be very impressive. Alright, this is how the Ironman Mark 5 look close up. As you can see, the design and the articulation is very nice. Over here, as you can see, the head sculpt is also very impressive. It does move up and down, left and right, no problem at all. The chest reactor is also very nicely done. There are some detailing over here, which actually very nice. The shoulder arm here actually can move out and back in on both sides. This shoulder pad is articulated, no problem. There's a swivel joint here, a double jointed elbow, as you can see here. Very nicely done. This time around, I believe they actually make these double jointed these groove lines much more packed together, and this actually looks very nice in relation to the scale of this figure. Very impressive. The torso here can move left and right. Unfortunately, the figure actually does suffer from this type of opening, but nevertheless it does look very nice if you don't actually overpose him in such a dynamic pose until the torso is actually exposed. So you may need to have him standing nicely, maybe a little bit of articulation, that will be fine. For this Mark 5, I'm a bit disappointed because the flap does not open. There's no flap at the back. It's actually all sculpted in one piece. That is a bit unfortunate. Other than that, the leg actually does have a double joint. It's actually double jointed on both of the legs. Very nicely done. The toe does not have toe articulation, but it does pivot side to side very nicely. One thing I want to point out is actually the hands. Actually, this time around, the hands actually is in some kind of ball joint. It does actually move all around on the forearm, which actually does give him a range of motion, which is very, very interesting. Look at that. So this is how it looks. The paint actually is very nice. Unfortunately, the silver paint is not as chrome as it should be. So I was hoping that this one is a little bit more chrome, but nevertheless it does still looks very nice. Of course, Mark 5 is a very slim looking Ironman. If you stand him side by side with the Ironman, he does look a little bit on the thin side. So anyhow, I still like this figure, but I do want to point out one last thing. Is actually the paint scheme of this is nice, but there are some minor paint defect which I have encountered with this figure. As you can see here, there's a bit of red paint smear onto the joint here. So I'm not sure whether I can remove this with fingernails or some kind of thinner. So hopefully I can actually remove this thing. And this part here, actually Zdtoys actually did a blunder. When they paint the this chest armor here, there's a bit of silver color going into the red armor at the top here. As you can see, if you look at the other side, there's no paint right after this section, but this one, this silver actually goes above the red color armor. So that's only some of my minor nitpick of this figure. So let me pose him and have a look at this Ironman Mark 5. I really like Mark 5 when it was first introduced in the live action movie, and I gotta say, one of the most infamous fight scene between Whiplash and Mark 5 is one of the most interesting Ironman fight that I have ever seen. So the Ironman Mark 5, the design is actually a little bit more daring and also very, very impressive compared to the other Mark 1 to Mark 6, whereby all the armor suit actually looks very similar. But Mark 5 actually is derived from this little thing here, which is the suitcase, the briefcase here. Sorry for the dust. So this suitcase actually is the Ironman Mark 5 suit inside. Unfortunately, it does not open. But once Tony Stark bring up the briefcase and transform himself into this massive, heavy-duty looking Ironman, he does look very impressive. I do like the design, whereby it does look something like fish bone. All the armor parts, piece by piece, all are actually merged together to form this beautiful, impressive looking figure. Look at that. So over here I'm having Mark 5 in such a dynamic pose, looking very nice. The legs does actually pose very nicely, and the feet actually is level and flat down to the base. Very impressive. Look at that. Next, this is another pose which actually is from the box art on the top. So he does pose very nicely. A very simple museum standing pose. Very impressive. And finally, the most difficult task for any Ironman is actually having him in this superhero landing pose. Mark 5 here still managed to pull off this pose. Still looking nice, not 100%. If only this thigh can move a little bit more further up, I believe he will look absolutely spot on. Also, the head actually need to be able to pull a little bit further up, because now that is the limit that Mark 5 head actually is facing down. So it seems that Zdtoys has actually improved the articulation with the hands, with the ball joint, and also the double jointed elbows and the legs. Finally, if they can actually fix the head with the separate neck joint, that will be perfect. Alright, there you have it. This is the Zdtoys Ironman Mark 5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until then, Articulate signing off. Remember to share, subscribe, and spread the love. See you guys next time. Cheers.